26 days were to be something you would suggest, how do you tell a police officer you have to take off, but yet we're hiring more cops? How does that work?
At the end of the day, you're providing more services. Yes, that individual may have to take off some days, but you're building the police force.
No, and the second part of it is, what about the overtime factor then when you make them do furloughs? You know, a cop arrests somebody, his 3 days are up, and he's got to go to court and do these other things. Would that also increase overtime?
I believe so, it would.
So how do we know if we'll have any cost savings at that point?
Cost savings relative to the furlough?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
those are my two questions. If the furlough might mean more overtime, and if the furlough might not be received by the rank and file now, hey, you're going to lay me off, but at the same time you're going to hire more cops. Both of those are tough.
They are tough, but I would say that people take vacation days now. People are, take sick days now. So it would be a matter of taking those similar days. Maybe they have to take the furlough days before they actually are able to take, any of those other days. It's, those are the options that can be explored.
How can you tell somebody you can't take a sick day until you take a furlough day?
Well, I mean, I would rather say you can't take a vacation day until you take a furlough day.
And to the CLA, their suggestion is that hiring 40 new cops equates to the same amount of money as a furlough day. I don't get that kind of calculation. I mean, are those numbers even close?
I don't know if we can speak to that calculation. All we looked at was in terms of the overall hiring plan, and with the attrition of officers, that equated to roughly $50-some million. And if the hiring were paused, if we did have a freeze on sworn hiring, that $50 million could be used towards the shared sacrifice number, therefore having less impact on the officers that are currently with us, as opposed to imposing additional concessions on our existing officers at the expense of new officers.
And to Mr. Rosenthal's comments, I had a meeting with a number of police officers last Friday, and that was the very same sentiment they said to me. He said, we're willing to take a zero pay increase this year. We're willing to take 0% COLA. Just how do you explain to me I got to take days off without pay so you can hire more cops? It doesn't make any sense to me. That's what the cops are telling me. So
but I don't think they understood that what's being proposed now is that they would lose 520 of their fellow officers.
Oh, no, they fully understand that. They understand that, believe me.
And I think what needs to be said is that, this proposal...
Those are 500 officers going out the door anyway. We're just not going to replace them is the question. And they understand that.
Yes, okay, and I think what needs to be said is that would take our force down to what it was in December 2006, 9428, as opposed to where we are now.
If you wanted to start this debate now, I'm happy to, but I mean, come on. Look at our crime rate. It's down to 1950 levels. You want to go back to the police department of 5,000? I mean, that would be, if you want to follow that logic.
I think the police department is probably best equipped to answer those questions about.
Well, you're the one that posed it.
I did pose it because, I think that needs to be stated in terms of where we would end up after the attrition. If the attrition is left to take its course on the police hiring, we're going to end up, and this is a fact, we're going to end up to where we were on December 2006.
And I understand that. And tell me, what's the magic number 10,000? What happened at 10,000? Is it like a football game? The game's over and all the bad guys give up because we hit 10,000? What's so magic about this number 10,000? You have to reach it.
I don't think there is a magic to that number.
There isn't. And I'll tell you why. I was reading a document the other night dated 1960. I'm doing a little research on the city council on a book I'm writing. And there's a statement in there by the chief of police saying, in 1960, Parker, the guy that a lot of people don't believe is a chief anymore or something, but anyway, that's another argument. Parker said in 1960 to the city council, we need 10,000 police officers. We had a population of 2 million back there. We need more cops. There's nothing magical about this number that the mayor has chosen of 10,000. Nothing happens at 10,001 that ain't going to happen at 9,500. The cops are doing a great job out there. Crime is down. It's a great success story. nothing happens at 10,001 that we're going to raise the flag and have a celebration because we hit this magic number and something happened to the world out there. The fact of the matter, what happened to the world out there is that the economics collapsed, and we can't afford 10,000. Your CAO said that, your CLA said that.
But, at the end of the day,
This is the end of the day.
Well, I'll make
got
the
news
statement
for you.
again. I'll make the statement again. Is that what's being decided here, or what's being proposed, is a prioritization of other services above public safety, and that's a matter of fact. Is that there are add backs to this. That there are multiple add backs being proposed here, and in a sense, you're saying that these add backs are more important than attrition than filling the attrition gap that's going to be created in the police and fire departments as well. Both departments, police and fire.
What I'm saying, and what the CLA said, is that we can't afford this hiring plan. It is going to bankrupt us. That is not the end of the day, that is the end of the world.